Xbox Game Pass is already having a super strong 2026 with some cracking additions over the past couple of weeks, and I didn't really know how they're going to top the likes of Space Marine 2 and even Death Stranding. Well, it's that time in the month again, and Xbox have shown us the hand of the next Xbox Game Pass drop, and oh boy, it's absolutely fantastic yet again. Today, I'm going to be covering the 13 brand new games coming to Xbox Game Pass this February, and I tell you what, this is only wave 1 of the entire month, but let's just dive right into it. We do actually have 2 games which are available to everyone as of right now, and one of those was a cracking shadow drop as of yesterday. The game was none other than Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, and this one actually really took the series in a bold new direction and dropped fan favourite Goro Majima into a tropical pirate adventure. He basically wakes up on a shipwreck with no memory of his past and then must embark on a chaotic mission across the Hawaiian Islands and the high seas. The game is great, it actually combines hand-to-hand combat with naval warfare and offers such a diverse range of gameplay options at your disposal. As with any Yakuza title though, the game will masterfully blend that signature humour alongside all the drama and action with loads of side activities as well. I mean, you can do stuff like teaching islanders to dance or just fight off some pretty cool wild boars. If you're a fan of the series' trademark charm, then this one is going to be right up your alley. It's been rated very, very highly, and as I mentioned, it's available right now with your Xbox Game Pass subscription. The next edition is Final Fantasy II, and it's actually a lovely follow-up to the first Pixel remaster that we received all the way back in the beginning of January. I have mentioned this one before, but it's basically an updated version of this game, so you can expect some renewed 2D pixel graphics as well as a rearranged version of the original soundtrack. The game also comes with a series of gameplay improvements alongside a modern UI and even an auto battle feature that can help you get past all of that grinding. It's a very decent game and gives you a solid experience, and to be honest, a pretty great story alongside it as well. I won't spend too much time on this one as we have some cracking games coming up on the horizon, so you can check it out right now. But with that, let's move on to a popular franchise that's heading our way on the 5th of February. That's right, all of you American football fans can finally be excited as Madden NFL 26 will be landing on our Xbox Game Pass subscriptions towards the end of this week. Like any of the Madden games that we see every single year, it did bring with it a ton of improvements over the last installment, as well as some new gameplay and features for you to dive into. I am going to say right out the gate to you all right now, I haven't got a clue how American football even works, or even how it plays, so I'm definitely not the right demographic here. However, I have done a little bit more digging for you to see what's different about this newest entry. There seems to be a rather large update to coaches using real-world data, and then also enhancements to the pitch via wear and tear alongside a overhauled weather system. You'll have to tell me if that sounds any good to you in the comments below, but if you do want to play it, it will be available for Ultimate and PC Game Pass subscribers. If you have a young family member, then they'll no doubt be very excited for the addition of Paw Patrol Rescue Wheels Championship. I cannot believe they've actually made another one of these racing games, but it does show that the previous title must have been somewhat popular amongst the crowd. I'm obviously not going to be the target demographic like many of you out there, but I know that these pups have a very dedicated following across the world. This newest entry though is giving you a monster truck style rescue vehicle instead of the usual fare, and then you'll be racing across different areas from Adventure Bay to Foggy Bottom. It can be played solo or in multiplayer, which is quite nice to see, and it also contains all of the accessibility options from the previous entry to make it easier than ever. I might go into this one solely for the easy gamer score, but if you are at all interested, it finally lands on the 5th of Feb. Many of you who tune into the channel on a regular basis know that I'm a sucker for a solid turn-based strategy game, so the moment that I saw MENACE when it popped up in an Xbox Game Pass news drop, it shot straight onto my February must-play list. This is a tactical RPG where you're going to be commanding an elite strike force, and they'll be responding to an escalating alien threat across multiple different planets. The stress calls will come in as well, and you will then have to decide which of the worlds to save, which battles you have to fight, and when to commit your forces. Once your boots will hit the ground though, you'll be managing your infantry, the tanks, the massive mechs, and so much more in some great turn-based combat encounters. The whole thing gives us a very strong sort of XCOM meets Command and Conquer energy to it, and I'm very here for it with a little bit of Warhammer sprinkled in. Right now it is confirmed for PC Game Pass only, which is certainly a shame, but I have no doubt that if it does perform well, it will make its way to console down the line. You may recall, but I mentioned Relooted a couple of times here on our channel now, and that's because it's a pretty unique game being made by a small South African studio. We really don't see many games from this region, so I am actually curious to see what they bring to the table, but it's a very cool looking concept that has you assembling a crew, and then you're set about reclaiming 70 real-life artifacts of cultural, historical, and spiritual significance. Your team of heisters will then compromise a cast from different African countries and walks of life, all with their own skill sets as well, with each heist involving different puzzles to solve, teammates to place in the right places, and flow-based parkour abilities. I've said it time and time again here on the channel, but I kind of dig these little indie offshoot projects, and it's great seeing another one land onto Xbox Game Pass as a day one release. I'm going to ask you all a very big question. What does Xbox Game Pass need? If you said a roguelike, you would be correct, and yes, we are yet again receiving another one onto the service. BlazBlue Entropy Effect X arrives on the 12th, but interestingly enough, is a spin-off of the BlazBlue series, and it even features an original storyline and also a setting that's separate from the main plot. I'm personally actually really interested in this one solely for the graphics, which is probably never really a good thing. They do look rather beautiful and very pleasing, as they use the 2D sprites from the BlazBlue games. It's quite impressive how all of the movesets from a fighting game fit so well into this sort of 2D Metroidvania style gameplay as well, and from reviews across the board it seems to reflect that. I had to do some more digging on my end, but it seems like runs take less than an hour, but the replay value is certainly there, and it has some insanely strong fighter gameplay and combo systems. This seems like a very good roguelike, and I do feel a little burnt out with so many of them now, but if you are interested, it lands pretty soon. Back at the Xbox Partner Preview event all the way in December, I first thought this game was a supermarket simulator, but then I saw aliens and realised it was something completely different. Roadside Research is a game where you and up to 3 of your friends will take on the role of aliens, and you'll be studying humans at a roadside gas station. You'll of course have to manage the gas station, try and study your human customers, and then try and keep your alien identity hidden at all costs. As a co-op game as well, you can be rest assured that you'll get into all sorts of shenanigans with your fellow aliens. Roadside Research has now been given a solid release date for its early access period, and it's coming to Xbox Game Pass Day 1 on the 12th of February. It is totally worth noting though that this will be in a game preview state, so don't expect any achievements or a fully fleshed out game. But nonetheless, it looks fantastic and hilarious with a group of your friends. If you're craving something a little bit more cozy with no tour-breaking frustration, then let me introduce you to Starsand Island, as this one really delivers just that and is dropping onto Xbox Game Pass. In this one, you're basically going to be escaping the hustle and bustle of the city and then embracing island life by tending to your own farm, doing stuff like fishing, raising animals, and learning all the secrets of the friendly locals. It's very similar in its vein to games like Stardew Valley, but of course with a very different stylization. The art style to me is teeming with so much warmth and charm, and it seems to be inspired by gentle Japanese animation. The best part though, as I mentioned, there's going to be no micromanagement stress here. That means your tools won't break and you can actually just bliss out on building and relaxing. Plus, you can invite your friends over to co-create your paradise together. Starsand Island is the perfect slow-paced sanctuary. However, this next Game Pass game is totally the opposite. I was a massive fan of the original Hard Life, and I was so happy to see that Hard Life 2 was announced at the Xbox Showcase last year. After a very short delay though, it's almost here, and it will be available as a Day 1 Xbox Game Pass title as of the 13th of Feb, and I totally expect it to do insanely well. Of course, like the previous game, we're going to be joined by our beloved ragtag team of alien misfits, as we'll be shooting, stabbing, and just skating our way through weird alien worlds across the galaxy. Instead of the story centering around aliens using humans for drugs like the previous game, the story now goes on a wild tangent, and instead aliens are now using humans in petting zoos. The looks that we've seen so far have given a look at the brand new weapons and characters alongside fan favourites. It's really rounding out to be a fantastic new entry into this franchise, and I cannot wait to bring you my review nearer the time. You know what, it's going to be pretty great being able to see all of you play as Henry on the 13th of Feb in Kingdom Come Deliverance, and it's so exciting as it's coming to Xbox Game Pass for the very first time. I know many of you, like me, only got a taste of this franchise with the second entry back in 2025, but now you can finally experience the start of Henry's tale. This one's of course going to be set in that world of Bohemia, and you're going to see why it's held in such high regard. This again is a massive story-driven open world RPG, and has you adventuring across Bohemia and the Holy Roman Empire, and there's going to be around 200 hours worth of content here. You'll have to avenge your parents' death, battle invading forces, go on game-changing quests, and so much more. The game is immersive, and I've been loving my time with it since I booted it up last year. You'll definitely want to make sure you're subscribed as well down below to the channel if you love Kingdom Come, as I have some huge content coming your way next week, and you definitely won't want to miss it. Not only have we had the likes of Death Stranding, Star Wars Outlaws, and Space Marine 2, which were some lovely outstanding titles for January, but this February is definitely strong again with the lovely addition of Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. If you're somewhat unfamiliar, this is a first-person action-adventure game set in the never-before-seen western frontier of Pandora. You will be playing as a Navi, of course, who was then abducted, trained, and molded by the human militaristic corporation known as the RDA, and you'll be serving their purpose. 15 years later though, you're going to be free, but find yourself a stranger in your birthplace, so that means you're going to have to reconnect with your lost heritage, discover what it truly means to be a Navi, and then join other clans to protect Pandora from the RDA forces. You may have seen that Ubisoft recently added the new third-person update, so you can experience the entire game in a new light, and it looks utterly fantastic. I've actually been wanting to dive into this one myself since seeing that third film pretty recently, and this one will be live for Ultimate and PC subscribers on the 17th of Feb. What's great as well is we do have one game coming to Xbox Game Pass Premium on the very same day, and that's none other than Avowed. That marks now exactly 1 year since its launch, so it's kind of not surprising to see it land into the service, and you should also see the massive update land on the very same day. I totally recommend that you dive into the land of Eora, as it's actually quite beautiful, and I really enjoyed the solid combat that Obsidian brought to the table. Don't get me wrong, the story and the characters are pretty average, but it's still a decent RPG that got way too much hate upon its launch. I do hope the new update brings some solid changes, but again, you can check this one out very, very soon. In some great news though, we only actually have one game leaving Xbox Game Pass on the 15th of February, and I doubt many of you will really care about this one. That game is Madden NFL 25, and yeah, we usually see these sort of previous entries within the sports series leave once a new one's been added. If you do want to play it though, probably just pick up a physical copy if you can, or just wait until it's on a sale in a couple of weeks, because I have no doubt it will be less than £5. What do you think about these Xbox Game Pass editions for the first half of February? I would be keen to hear your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Make sure to also smash that like button if you enjoy this sort of news coverage, and do subscribe as well, as I will be bringing you more Xbox Game Pass content and so much more on a daily basis. Whilst here though, and if you do want to check out some other of my Xbox content, I recently just covered the 10 things you need to know about Crimson Desert before it lands onto our Xbox consoles this March.